Hello.
There he is.
Here he is. How are you, dude?
Let me turn your volume up a little bit. Hang on.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey. Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm Augustino Zoida. I'm your host, and I'm proud to be the host of Homeschooled Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We know you got a lot of options out there when it comes to podcasts, so it means the world to us that you're here. I have a very special, important guest today, and he's my friend. He's a stand-up comedian, and he's the recent author of a book called Roast Yourself into Happiness. I got my copy right here, and super excited to have him on. We're going to talk a little bit about the book in just a second, and it's your first book, correct?
Yeah.
First book. Stand-up comics are writing books now, so you guys better watch out, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it in just a second. But first, I would like to remind everybody that I will be in Phoenix, Arizona, February 4th through the 7th. I'm working with my buddy Steve Simone. We're super excited to be in House of Comedy in Phoenix, so please come on out. I love that club. It's probably like my favorite club to work in. Phoenix, that particular area where the club is like such a fun little area, so I'm really excited. And I will be in Sacramento at Out of Bounds Brewery, Saturday and Sunday. That's the 13th and the 14th. Right now there's only one show per day, but if those it's limited seating for social distancing, so get your tickets, and if it does fill up, we will add late shows, so hopefully you guys can go run and grab your tickets. I would also like to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by Share a Sale. Share a Sale is... what is it? I'll tell you what it is. Share a Sale is what guys like me or girls like me who podcast, and you're wondering, how do I get paid for my podcast? How do I start making some money on your blog maybe? How do all these guys get sponsors? I'll tell you how. They're on Share a Sale. Click the link in the description. It costs you absolutely nothing to try out for Share a Sale. You fill out the application to become an affiliate. Once you're an affiliate, you have access to every single company and product that they have access to. And listen, you know your audience. Whatever you think that your people want to hear, maybe pet products, maybe CBD, it's all on there, okay? I got Masterclass from them. I got Puffy Mattress from them. Embrace Pet Insurance, and almost all my sponsors are from Share a Sale. It doesn't cost you anything. The worst that can happen is that you get denied, which I got to prove, so you're fucking golden, all right? So click the link in the description, and it won't cost you anything, and then you're helping out the Homeschool Podcast as well. And don't forget to support the show by picking up a sticker or a t-shirt or maybe a mug or my comedy album. Everything can be found at homeschooledpod.com. And I know it's a lot of information all up front of this podcast, but I will add one new thing here. Sorry, Alex. I'll add one new thing, but this is actually something kind of interesting that you might want to hear about anyway. Is that so? Remember when we had the first lockdown, and then we were able to do outside stuff, and then even the Comedy Store was like open on the patio only for drinks and no shows and all that stuff like that, you know. And during that whole time, I was constantly battling with the city of Los Angeles and they won't allow attendance, but calling into every single bi-weekly board meeting that they have with the Board of Supervisors of Los Angeles. And I would, push the importance of allowing us to do outdoor comedy. So it came to the point where, I wasn't really being heard, so I wrote a plan. I wrote a plan called Live Outdoor Entertainment Plan Act, which is a plan to safely do comedy outside, doesn't interfere with any of the guidelines. And I pushed it, and they would refuse to have it read at any of the meetings. They just would not have the plan be submitted or anything like that. And then we got locked down again. So now that it's open, we're pretty much like tomorrow, right? I think we're opening tomorrow. Yeah. For outdoor again. This time, the plan is ready. I made some adjustments to it. I've started a petition, and I'm gonna get as many people as I can to sign this petition. So we're going in there with like 1,000 signatures or whatever the fuck we need, and the link, you guys, is on my website. If you guys can please just sign this petition. Don't donate after you sign it. Ask you to donate. Don't donate no money. Just sign the petition that we want to be able to safely do outdoor stand-up comedy. That's all. And the link is on my website, homeschooledpod.com. It's the very first banner you'll see, as well as the plan that I wrote is there as well. All right, Alex, sorry about that, buddy.
No, dude, I'm so impressed that you actually wrote a government proposal and are
Yes.
going through the necessary tactics to actually get it into action. That's incredible.
Yeah, man. It took a lot of reading all of other people's proposals that actually got passed. Like, you know, like right now people can film movies again, and I had to go read that proposal. And, you know, I kind of took a little bit from that and just learning all their guidelines to cooperate with it. And it just doesn't make any sense why you got a group of people that can eat outside. You just can't put one person, 8 feet away from them telling them jokes. And
it kills me. I mean,
yeah.
when I was doing outdoor shows in LA, like in late summer, early fall, and they were telling us that this was illegal and we couldn't do it. All of us were baffled. We're like, what is the difference? All of these people are here anyway, and this is fine. Why can't we all look one direction and listen to a person?
Which is way better than facing each other, breathing on each other. Just everybody look that way.
Well, and that was the crazy thing that I saw you at the Comedy Store a couple times, and we'd be out there and we were performing through a window and all these other weird things. And meanwhile, half a block down the road, Saddle Ranch has 600 people packed into this tent, and they're like, "We're safe," and all of us are like, "But we can't tell jokes."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Totally, dude. And, it's actually, and a part of my argument, I'll send you the link, by the way, where the petition, because I wrote a whole article about how important it is to open this time for comics.
Yeah,
and
please.
Mostly for mental health, you know what I mean? And just, I really thought about leaving like everybody else because there's so much great talent and artists that are getting the fuck out of here because they got to make a living. And I'm determined to stay here. I'm from Los Angeles, and I want to see the entertainment capital of the fucking world remain the entertainment capital. And, maybe we won't forever be that, but you cannot take artists out of this city. You just can't. It's a crime. And actually, it's safer for your restaurant to offer entertainment because you can sell tickets. A restaurant, you can't sell tickets. So you got people showing up. Do you guys have tables? Maybe in about 45 minutes, okay, we're all going to wait outside in a group until you call us in. You don't have that with comedy shows. You have, I bought my ticket, I show up. If I didn't buy my ticket, I don't show up. I sit at my designated seat. When the show's over, I'm asked to leave. This is the safest. It's way safer than a restaurant. But anyway, to the book.
No, I'm glad we got into that though, man, because honestly, somebody needs to be doing something, and I'm glad that you're at the front lines of it.
I don't know if it's going to do anything, Alex. I don't know, but maybe at the very least it'll get people talking.
Exactly, and you have to start the conversation.
Exactly, man. And putting something out in the universe, I've never not gotten anything back. So
there you go.
But anyway, dude, I've started the introduction of your book, and by the way, I'll just say that the dedication already has me laughing.
Oh, that's good.
Even your dedication page was hilarious. So tell us a little bit about Roast Yourself to Happiness.
Yeah, I've read a lot of self-help books over the years. I have a podcast called Achilles Heel where I bring people on to talk about their Achilles heel, which basically the biggest fucking thing in their life that they wish would disappear, that they've had to battle, but it has also shaped them into who they are. While it may be perceived as a weakness, it inevitably also becomes a strength in many ways. And having talked to so many people and read all these personal development books, I realized that what really worked for me was getting brutally made fun of in very creative ways through roast battle and the comedy community in general. And the more I heard jokes about myself, the more I kind of fell in love with my appearance, because so many people were calling me so many different things that it forced me to just start enjoying what I looked like. If I'm like, wow, if this person sees Two-Face if he had one face, and this person sees the Grinch who stole Christmas to buy meth, and this person sees a piece of sandpaper, and whatever it may be, like, I'm getting it from so many directions that it just forced me to be like, I mean, I like this, and I like how I look. And one thing that most of the self-help books never really said, pretty much any of them, were that if you annihilate yourself and just pick yourself apart, every single thing that you hate about yourself, and you just face it and own it, you take the power away and you stop feeling shameful about it.
So are the self-help books kind of like, are always about, let's bring the good out, focus on your positives?
There's definitely a lot of that. I mean, some of them will go into more like, look, you have to embrace all parts of you, and that includes the negative as well as the positive. But most of them are just saying, like, somewhere inside you, there is this magical being just waiting to come out. And I'm like, yeah, I believe that. But I believe the fastest way to get there is to just basically treat yourself horribly, talk to yourself in a way that you would never want somebody else to, stop judging yourself, and start owning who you are. And that's why we put on the back of the book, you're going to learn how to love yourself by hating yourself. And I just think I think it's something that's really missing. I also think I never set out to write a self-help book. I got bored and freaked out toward the end of 2020, knowing that we weren't going to have any stand-up, and started talking out this idea. But what I also realized, like, have you ever read a self-help book?
Not really, no.
The problem with most of them is that they use all this very complicated language, and they try to sound super intelligent to get this really deep meaning. But they're boring as fuck because of that. Like, and I wanted to, like, you can't just give a 20-year-old one of these books and say, read this, and expect it to actually speak to them, because it's speaking in a way that is just not fun to listen to or read. So I was like, how can I write a book for myself when I was at my absolute messiest, angriest, most depressed and worst, that I would actually read and want to keep reading? So I wrote it from a perspective of me talking to another comedian. You know, I mean, I don't think there's another self-help book that calls their person a fucktard. You know? Like, I mean, the very first line in this book is hello underachieving shitbag. Like, the point is, we all try to cover ourselves. We all try to mask the parts of ourselves that we don't want other people to see. Like, the parts that we think they're gonna, like, will, I don't know, like, make us seem less than in some way. But when you hide those parts of yourself, you're not giving your whole self to the world, and your whole self is worthwhile. And that's when you learn how to love yourself. So that's why I wrote this fucking thing.
I think it's fantastic. Like I said, I've just gotten through the introduction, and it has you laughing. It's exactly what you're saying. It's something that keeps you hooked. It's fun to read. It's not boring. It's not too deep, and you're having fun with it. You can tell that you had fun writing it.
Really did. I couldn't have done this, by the way. Like, my fiance really helped me out a lot, because when I started talking about writing a book, I was like, I'm not ready to write a full-on self-help book. Like, I still live in a one-bedroom apartment. Who the fuck am I? Like, kind of thing. But she said, like, what about a workbook? And I didn't really know what she meant, but she showed me an example of one. And the one she showed me was like, it was 21 days to manifest $1,000. And it basically followed the very same thing, where it was like large print, easy to read, and then it had exercises at the end of each day, so you had all these like lines to write in and stuff like that. So it became something where she's like, I can help you plan this out, because you know what you want to say, and I know what a workbook format looks like. So together we were able to create this 28-day process.
That's so great.
Where We teach you how to write roast jokes. We teach you how to dig out your trauma. We teach you just how to have fun and enjoy things. And I think there's so many people. Some of this stuff seems so basic if you've read a lot of self-help books, but if you haven't, there's just really simple concepts in here that I think most people don't really think about, such as like, appreciating rejection, right? You are going to know that as well as anybody. Being a stand-up comedian in LA, we get rejected for pretty much every single thing that we ever try to do. When we try to get into a club, when we try to audition for something, almost every time we're being told no. And you have to find a way to look at that as a positive instead of a negative and take the hits along with the wins. And there's just so many little things in here that I think are going to help people just really get over their bullshit.
Sort of like, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger type of thing. It's just you're
very
absorbing.
Much so.
All the attacks that you take, it gets you better. It's like fucking Black Panther's suit. Like every time you punch him, he's just saving that energy to grow strong. Which I don't know.
And that's how I've always felt that way of just like we can all intake an unlimited amount of love and we can absorb it and exert an unlimited amount back. So the more love we take in, the more love we give out, it just becomes this endless cycle. So one of the things I talk about in this book is one of the very simple concepts is just to compliment people throughout your day. Like if you were renting a car, when I was just in Colorado Springs, I noticed the person I was getting a car rental from had this beautiful, unique eye makeup that she clearly spent time on.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, your makeup looks really great, by the way. And I instantly saw her look up from her computer and do this like,
dude, I swear to God, I just tweeted something like this the other day. I was just saying like, I could find it, but it'll take too long. But I just along the lines of what you're saying, like how much you can make someone's day. And when you are negative to somebody, they'll turn around and be negative to the next person they talk to, and you're creating a train of negativity. But the same thing works with positivity. Which train do you want to start? So like when you go to the grocery store, I always try to say, extra stuff. You know what I mean? Like I try to say extra stuff or just be extra friendly. You know what I mean? Appreciative and just talk to people, man. They can't even see that we're smiling anymore. We have this mask on, so you gotta show that you're happy and that you want to give them that happiness.
And one thing that you said that I want to expand on is, like you said, like when you're negative to someone, they're going to be negative. Right?
100%.
Misery loves company, but so does positivity. And when you are positive and you're optimistic, other people jump on that train as well.
Yeah.
And I have a part in this book where I talk about when you compliment someone, I call it you make them glow, right? And the more you compliment people, the more everybody starts glowing, and people are attracted to things that glow.
Yes.
If you see something that's lit up in a corner, you're like, oh, what is that? Why is it doing that? You want to know more. So if you're a person that is walking around glowing because you're constantly giving out glow jobs to people, then bam, all of a sudden people see that in you and your energy attracts more people to you.
Absolutely.
When I was like really started like jumping on this positivity kick a few years ago, I instantly noticed how things in my life got better. People treated me better. I got more opportunities. I got more jobs. I got better at comedy because I wasn't thinking like, well, why is that person doing this? Why can't I do that? Why can't this? I just started doing it for my own self and for the love of making people laugh again. And all of a sudden I was in a good mood all the time because I stopped letting other people affect my psyche.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, dude. One thing that I really hate is when, if I wake up in a good mood and I go out and the first person I interact with is rude to me. It brings my mood down. Like my good mood that I woke up with is completely gone. And then the next person I interact with, I'm kind of like the same, like a little moody with them. And I try to always go out of my way and be conscientious, and I always try to go out of my way to go the extra mile for people. You know what I mean? I try to make it a personal goal, and I'll notice, like for example, the other day, I I didn't help someone the way I normally help people. Like I just kind of brushed them off, a quick answer, rather than I usually go in depth. And it was because someone was rude to me who I talked to before. And I was just in a bad mood, and I was just ready to, and I actually felt bad that I called that other person back, and I was like, you know what, I just feel like I probably could have helped you a little bit more, and I just followed through with it, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's contagious, man, and you can be a good example. Like, you go to the girl, and you say, great makeup today, and then, you know, now she's gonna, maybe she'll just glow, like you said, or maybe she'll say something nice to somebody else. It's a good example. That you're setting.
Dude, I love that you called that person back, though, because most people would have never done that. Would be like, okay, next time I'll be nicer to that person.
Yeah.
But you actually went the extra mile and did something that so many people would have been too afraid to do because it's a little embarrassing, right? You have to make that phone call, and you're like, all right, I know I'm doing a good thing here, but still, I'm going to call this person and let them know that I didn't really act in my best. You took responsibility, and you own the fact that you realized that mood affected you, which then got put onto this person, and you stopped the cycle.
Because I always try to do something that most people wouldn't do. That's what I'm always trying to do. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to always have that attitude. Like, I want people to go like that. Like, most people wouldn't do that. And that I want to hear. Like, if I get that back, that's success. Actually, I'll tell you the story because I think I might make it into a bit of what happened.
Oh, please,
Maybe tell the story on stage. So, what happened was that, so first of all, someone was rude to me, blah, blah, blah. Next thing, my phone rings. Someone had my phone number wrong. Like, they were trying to call, like, their insurance provider, and they called me by mistake. And they couldn't find a doctor. They were like, I'm trying to find a doctor that takes my insurance, all this stuff like that. And I was like, yo, you got the wrong number. And then I was just like, I would call, I would just like Google Blue Shield's number, is what I told her. And I hung up. And then I felt bad, and I didn't like try to go an extra mile and help her out. She needed a doctor. Maybe she was panicking. Maybe she doesn't know how to use a computer. I couldn't tell how old she was, right? So I called her back, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, let me help you. Let me help you with this. And then I'm like, who do you got? Blue Shield? Yeah. I go, me too. I had to look for a doctor once before too. So I go to the website. I showed her how to do it, all that stuff. And so anyway, dude, the next day, I called her back. And I go, just want to make sure you were able to see the doctor, okay? Everything work out for you? And she's like, yeah. And she goes, you know what? To thank you for being so kind, she's like, I want to give you a free lesson at my. She owns a yoga studio, I guess. She's like, I got a yoga studio, and she goes, and I do fitness, what's the word? Like consultation, like health tips and stuff like that. So she's like, I'll give you a free one. But then she goes, but only if you're a person of color. Is what she said to me. And I got like a little pissed at first because I'm like, I didn't know what color you were when I offered your help.
I love that she's like, look, white people have had enough for long enough, like, you know. And I mean, granted, I mean, you're not. Once you hear your name, Agostino Zoida, you're like immediately they're gonna be like, well, there's no way that's a white person.
Yeah, I go, well, I'm Italian. Does that count? And she was like, no. And you know what gets better is that I go, this is a kind of the mean part, but I think I will edit in the end of the joke. But it's true. Is I go, you know what? I go, I have a lot of friends of color, and I said maybe I can give it to one of them. And she was like, okay, great. Here's the link to my website. Have them make the appointment there. I'll waive the fee or whatever. I go, okay. So I went to her website, and there's pictures of her there. And she's really out of shape.
Oh, my God.
Like, she's just like, doesn't look like a person who should be giving health advice.
It's like a doctor that comes in smoking a cigarette and eating a cheeseburger. And they're like, all right, go ahead and put your legs up in the stirrups.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on.
Yeah. Now I'm pissed off because I'm just like, so you're exclusively ripping off black people? Yeah, but that's what happened.
She's trying to be so woke that now she has literally gone the other direction and put herself to sleep. That is so funny.
Tell me, I was going to ask you, is your fiance have any experience in a book or outlining a workbook, or she just read a lot?
So my fiance does mainly like online marketing strategy for brands, copywriting, things like that. And she is never afraid to do the work to research how to do something. And this is the part that I can't stand. Like, if I have to learn how to do a new task, I instantly get flustered and frustrated and I just give up. But she is like, look, you write the book, I'll take care of the rest of it, and started researching, how do I self-publish on Amazon? How do I format a book for a Kindle and a paperback? How do I make a cover for this? How do I do all? So literally, I feel like she did 5 times the amount of work that I did on this thing, because I feel like, yeah, I wrote it, but then to actually turn it into this was all her. And that's the point where, like, I'm so lucky that I have such an amazing partner in my life. We've been together for, 12 years or something like that. And this is our first truly, like, collaborative effort. Like, she's helped me before. Like, she helped design my website. She's helped me throw my shows back in the past and things like that. But really, like, a dual collab, this is the very first thing we've ever really done together that was so much of both of us. And I can't thank her enough for doing all the shit that I wouldn't want to do.
That's so great, yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? It's like anyone can write. Like, oh, we're all comedians, we're all funny, we know how to write. We could come up with something to write. But then when it actually comes down to, okay, but now you actually really have to format it. Now you actually really have to go into Amazon and do the research as to what category it's going to go to. How are you going to break down the description so more people buy it? How can you turn it into a bestseller? She was reading articles non-stop on how to do all this shit. So I was just coming in like, what can I help with today? What do you need from me? She would give me my daily work, and then I would go off and do it, and she would do hers.
Right.
Yes. So she's the one that really turned this. I mean, she's never made a book cover or anything, and this thing looks fucking amazing.
It looks great, dude. It looks happy. It looks inviting. It looks like something you wrote. It's colorful.
That's, one thing she said because we were talking, I was like, oh my gosh. So if we're going to design a workbook, I could make, and she goes, I already see what you're doing. You're going to try to make some weird psychedelic Alice in Wonderland type shit. Alex, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't have the time or the money to be able to do what I can see is happening in your brain right now.
There's like one of those little mazes.
Oh, for sure. Like, I was thinking every single page would be like neon colors and all. And she sees that happening. And she always has to be like, okay, great ideas, now pull back. which is also what I hear pretty much every single time I audition for something. Like, I walk in and do this elaborate thing and they're like, okay, but like minus 100%. I'm back to reality. And she has to reel me in a lot, because that's the thing is, like, I think I have such big ideas and I don't get things done because I want to keep making them more grandiose and just more elaborate. And the only way I can do it is for somebody to hone me in and be like, Alex, it's good enough. Let's just release it. And then we can move on from there. Like, it's great that you want to make everything so big, but like, let's also make it a reality at the same time.
Yeah. You're so fortunate to have someone in your life that's like a perfect balance to reel you back in and help you out with that. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. By the way, congratulations on the proposal. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And you know what's so funny? And this is what I love telling people. My fiance does not like stand-up comedy. It's not her thing.
I read that.
She would never choose to. Yeah, that's right. In the dedication, I say, thank you for loving me while you hate stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And people always say, how are you with someone that hates stand-up? And I'm like, I don't need her to like stand-up. Like, she appreciates that I do it. She understands what it does for me. And she thinks it's super cool that I get these jobs and get to travel and do all these things. But her not liking it is totally fine with me, but she understands it, and she's willing to put herself in the world to be able to further my career, because she understands that it just helps us as a family. Yeah,
absolutely, dude. So it's just entertainment wise, it's not her choice of entertainment. It's like, we go to tons of, or we used to go to tons of concerts together. Remember those? Yeah.
Things like that. There's plenty of things that she enjoys, and she will come to stand-up shows sometimes, and she will enjoy herself. But if you had given we're not sitting at home watching Netflix specials or anything like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, what's really nice is, because she's not in the world at all, I will write a joke and I will be like, hey, let me run this by you and let me just see your thoughts at all. And sometimes because she's not in the world at all, she goes, actually, that's a little complicated. And I think your audiences are going to be confused. What if you just flip these few words? And then I think it would make more sense. And because of that, she like helps me make my comedy better because I'm going through a lens of someone that otherwise wouldn't think it was funny.
You know, and we're constantly around people that are so educated on stand-up comedy. So you need an outsider sometimes to get their point of view. What I hear all the time at almost every comedy show? This was my first comedy show from at least one audience member.
I know.
You know, and that's who's going to shows is people who don't normally go to shows. You know, their friend dragged them out or something like that, you know, and people just, it was my first comedy show and like, you know, it was really entertaining. So yeah, you're getting the point of view of somebody who is not in our world. We're so like used to everyone knowing about our world.
Yeah, and that's what I love about like, you know, going on the road. Like I just did my first road weekend in months. This past weekend I was in Colorado Springs, and maybe 10% of the people that come out actually know who I am in advance. Like maybe they saw me on America's Got Talent or whatever it is, but like maybe 10%. The other 90% are people that are either got taken there by someone else, are just going to a comedy club because that's what they want to do, or just, you know, found themselves there for the first time, like you said. So, I mean, most people don't know who we are anyway. So we go into these environments and it's totally fresh for everybody else. Yeah. And you have these comedy nerds that, like we're saying, that know every single little bit that's ever been written and what special it was from and all that. But then the rest of the people just want to have a good time and forget about their life for a little bit.
Absolutely. Alex, where are you originally from?
Baltimore.
Okay, I didn't know that. You still got family?
I do still have some family there. My parents are still there. My little smallest sister's there. Because I remember when I first started, you were also either super fresh, maybe like had just been started right before me, because you were one of the first comics I actually met like really early on. And I started March 9th, 2009. Do you know your day?
February 4th, 2009.
Yeah, I thought so. I was pretty sure that we were right there.
We're 1 month off. Yeah, funny.
Yeah. Isn't
Man,
that so cool?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other now, so it's going on 12 years.
Yeah.
Your 12 years next week. Mine's going to be in a month. And the fact is, we've gotten to watch each other not only just grow as performers, but also just grow as human beings. I mean, when you first met me, I was so misguided. I was just pretty much like, I'm not a total piece of shit. I just didn't know. Obviously, I'm 23. I don't fucking know anything about the ways of the world or how to be a good person. So now, like almost 12 years later, to be able to be like, yes, we're still both in this thing because we have watched 95% of the people we started with.
So crazy, dude.
95%.
It's so crazy.
Dude, this is a war of tenacity, right? You have to be able to just stick around. And I remember my dad told me that right when I moved to LA. He goes, Alex, I just heard George Clooney in an interview, and I just want to tell you this because I moved out here to act, not to do comedy.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, I just want to tell you this, that George Clooney said it's all about time.
Yeah.
It's staying in when everyone else is quitting. If you stay in and you're the last one standing, you're going to get work.
It's a matter of time.
And I thought about it is. And every single person we know, I can't name someone that's been doing this more than 10 years that hasn't found some level of success if they're really going for it. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to really think about it to find someone that was like, I guess that person really never did anything. Mm-hmm. But it's only but also, you know, not everyone takes it as seriously. Some people are hobbyists, but that's the thing is like, as long as you stay in, your brain is going to keep coming up with projects and keep writing new jokes and keep having a desire to go on stage with new things. And eventually people will take notice.
Absolutely, dude. If you hang in there, something's going to happen. As long as all you have to do is be somewhat remotely talented, which that's not even number one on the list. Number one on the list is hanging in there, survival of the fittest. And no matter how hard or the rejections, you just hang in there because you have to love it that much. If you told me when I started 12 years in, you're still not going to be anything, I would be like, well, I still really want to do stand-up, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to just love it more than you want to be famous, more than you want to make money. You have to just really enjoy doing it.
You know, that's exactly. So when I was in Colorado Springs, this was so beautiful because the host of the club, it was her first time ever hosting a weekend. And the feature, it was his first time ever featuring for a weekend. So I got to see these two people that were so fresh and so bright-eyed and so scared about like, oh, I've never really done this position before. I just hope I can make the show better. I hope I don't screw anything up. And I just said to the guys, like, I don't give a shit what happens to you up there. I just want you guys to have a good time. And don't worry. They're like, I just don't want to mess things up for you. Like the host said that to me. I was like, impossible.
Yeah.
Just go out there and enjoy yourself and just be yourself. And the club owner, I talked to him afterwards. I was like, these guys are great.
Yeah.
They both did a killer job. And I hope you recognize that. And I know he's going to bring them back again. And it was so beautiful to watch these people that one of them was 2 years in, the other one was like 3 years in, so excited to just be doing comedy. And I was too, because I hadn't done
You've
it
been
so
there.
long. But that's one of the things I told him. I was like, guys, remember this feeling, because this feeling it's going to try to go away. People will try
Yeah.
to take this feeling away from you. But if you stay excited about comedy, then you're never going to lose it. And that's the most important thing. Like you said, you can't worry about money. You can't worry about any artificial fame that comes along with it. You just have to do it because you love making people laugh and you love the process of coming up with jokes.
Absolutely. You got to do your art because you love it, and you got to stay true to the art that you love. And you can't compare yourself to other people. Well, he's been doing it 10 years and I've been doing it 10 years. How come he's further along than I am? It's like everybody's different. Maybe that guy's doing.
Destroy you.
Yeah, it can destroy you. Absolutely, it can. You know, you just stick to your guns and you do it. And as long as you keep putting hard work in and never stopping that, and as long as you're putting positive energy in the universe, little things like that, I believe, help you also. Like we were talking about, just being kind to people. That helps you move further up in your career. It's just good karma. It's just good karma.
And just following your gut, I think, one thing that I've done so many bizarre things in my career, and especially the way I go about things, I always try to think like, well, how is everybody else doing it? I want to be different from that and really stand out. And a lot of times, like if I would have told people that I was going to go on America's Got Talent wearing a unitard and a tail and roasting the judges, people would have been like, Alex, why? Why are you going to do that? Most things I've done in my career is a why. And it's because I'm having fun, because I think it's going to be great, because I want to do this thing. And as long as you listen to your gut, people are always going to give you advice of what they think is going to help you, right? I mean, how many times, I don't know if you're on TikTok, but the amount of times a day that somebody goes, you got to get on TikTok. I tried. I didn't.
I'm not on TikTok.
So I quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it makes other people happy, great. It didn't make me happy, so I dropped it as soon as I started it.
Yeah, I don't think it's something I would get into either.
You got to go with what you believe in, because everyone's going to have a different path, especially now. There's a billion different ways that we can all become successful. There's no one way for this anymore. So you might as well just do what's true to you, like you were saying, and work hard and hope for the best. And
you have written a book. I mean, there's so many different avenues in this, and what I've been saying for the last, 11 months now, 10 months, 11 months now, is I've been telling everybody, my podcast listeners, everybody, that don't come out of this quarantine or whatever you want to call it with nothing to show for it. That will be the biggest crime. That would be the biggest sin that you could do if you just sat there collecting unemployment, sitting there crying about waiting for jobs to come back. Which you have a right to complain about that, but you had a lot of time to do something in the meantime. There's so much time. I mean, I've done a lot. Some people are learning a language or whatever it is. Just don't come out of this with nothing. You didn't learn to cook. You You didn't take that class that you always wanted to take. Nothing.
Right.
You know,
even if it's just practicing self-care, right? Because I understand if there is a single mother who's driving a bus during a day and then she has to come home and her kids are being homeschooled because of virtual schooling and she needs to cook dinner, she needs to make sure they do their homework. I get that you didn't write a play. Yeah. I get it. But were you able to take some time for yourself to just like really sit and be okay with yourself? Did you read more books? Did you relax a little more? Did you meditate? Did you maybe, just spend more time with your kids even than you were able to before? There's got to be something you can do within the pandemic to better yourself, even if it's not some huge project or something like that.
It could just be something for you. It's just for you.
Yeah. The point is, like, you can't just sit there and wallow. It really bothers me when people say the world is on pause. I've seen a lot of people who are like, well, I've been doing stand-up 8 years, but I don't count this past year, so really it's 7. It's like, your body is counting this year.
Yep.
Your face is counting this year. You didn't stop decaying in your meat sack costume. So you better count this year, because there are people out there that are making headway, that are making money, that are learning, like you said, new languages, that are getting on TV, that are bettering their situation through this. So that was one of the things. It's like, look, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to relax and I'm going to appreciate the fact that I'm slowed down right now and I can't go to work and I can't do spots and all this other stuff. I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm also going to be a little bit productive each day.
Yeah.
And to me, 1 to 2 hours a day of productivity was enough for me to feel good about myself. And then I'm hiking, I'm playing tennis, I'm slacklining, I'm reading, I'm journaling, and doing whatever I can just to be like, wow, look at all this time. Will I ever have this in my life again? Probably not.
Yeah, dude, you're 100% right. By the way, do you hear that?
Oh yeah, I can. It's funny because I can hear it out here, but I hear the rain coming through your.
It just started pouring here, dude.
You're in your garage.
I'm in my garage. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it.
You hear that? Let's listen for a second. That's some hard rain, bro. Man, at one point I'm gonna have to walk back out up those stairs.
Oh my god, dude! Wait, do you remember that movie Hard Rain with Christian Slater and Morgan Freeman?
No.
Oh, dude, there's this crazy 90s movie where it's a heist movie, Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater, but the whole premise is that it's raining really, really hard while this heist is happening, and it's like flooding this town that they're trying to steal from.
And Morgan Freeman doesn't even really sound like Morgan Freeman. That's actually how he got the voice from filming in the rain.
Well, here I am out in the rain once again.
He got pneumonia and now his voice just kind of sounds like that. Oh man, but yeah, dude, I during this time, I don't want to hear that word paused either. There was no pause, guys. I get it. You can't go to a restaurant. You know what I mean? You can't go, but you can do stuff. Quarantine is a state of mind. I am not quarantined up here. I am. Yes. You can go out. You can hike. You can get fresh air. You can, you know what I mean? You can talk to people on the phone. They need the phone call,
Yes.
And dude, as soon as lockdowns happen, I released a comedy album that I've had in the archives I never released. Released a comedy album. Dude, I have like 30 minutes of new material, which I know works because I did travel maybe 3 times last year to do some gigs, and I know that they work. I immediately started doing stand-up performances to my camera alone in this garage with this curtain here, just to try the new jokes on my camera. It's like, dude, I've started taking a script writing class. I want to get back into that. I want to start writing scripts and screenplays and stuff, dude. So it's like you got to come out of this with something. Not to mention, I wrote a government official fucking plan, but it's something, man. You got to do something.
For your own sanity, right? Not just like that's the thing is like it's really like for yourself to just realize that like we can keep going. We are still here surviving. Every single one of us have known people that have died from this, that have gotten very sick, that have lost tons of money and work and jobs and all of this stuff. So if not for that, do it for yourself, but also do it for other people to show that you don't just have to give in to this, that you can keep fighting and keep finding ways to be productive and be a good person, even when other people are going like, no, it's not a good time. Like, you know, it was really upsetting to me at certain times last year when something really bad would happen in a day and somebody would try to post like a sketch that they made. People were like, dude, not the time. Do you know what? It's like, so we're just supposed to all be upset today and just stay that way? This person who worked hard on something can't release something to try to make us laugh?
Yeah, that's what we need right now.
I disagree. I disagree
too.
Anyone who's getting mad at these people for like, oh, how dare you post a stand-up clip when we are like having this terrible, it's like, what the fuck else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Like,
how dare you sit there and watch CNN again? You know what I mean?
Everyone copes in their own
How is that
way,
helping?
And you can't get mad at people for the way that they want to cope.
Yeah.
You just can't.
And you know what? A solution is better than no solution. What solutions have you come up with to try to enlighten people today or try to bring up their spirits today? It's better than nothing.
Yep.
So don't criticize people that are trying something. And you know what, dude? We're stand-up comics, and, you know, that's always going to be my love, and that's what I want to do. But you know what, man? This has been the real test. How much of an artist are you, though? Can you still create art without that stage and a microphone? And the answer for you, the answer for me, and the answer for a lot of guys, unfortunately, a lot of them, no. But a lot of guys that you and I know, the answer was yes. We could still create art without stand-up comedy because we're true artists.
Yeah. It's true. And I mean, I'll tell you this though, man, I struggled a lot in the beginning because I am a comedian. That is how I identify myself. I'm a stand-up comic. I go out every single night and I do it. And when that was taken away from me, the hardest thing was like, I have all this energy and I don't know how to release it anymore. I don't know what to do. And that became the hardest thing to grapple with was just like, me writing a script still doesn't get out this energy. I need another outlet where I'm actually like, bah! And you know, I found it in stupid, weird ways that I wouldn't have expected. Like, dude, I got on Cameo and I didn't think it would, I thought it was going to be more of a nuisance than anything else. Like, okay, I'll make a little video, say happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. And I started realizing like every time I get booked on Cameo, it's my chance for an individual rock star performance to one fan. And so I watched other cameos, people like, hey, what's up? It's me, Susan. I guess you got married. Congratulations. That's cool. I hope you like my show. Thanks. Bye. And I was like, these suck. I'm going to come on here and all the energy that I don't have for the stage right now is going to go into these 3-minute videos. And I started going so hard and the response was incredible.
That's awesome.
People were booking me again and again and again. They were like, you're the best deal on Cameo. And I think the reason is because I had something to give because I missed it so much.
Absolutely.
And I found this new outlet.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, man. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I can't believe people actually sit at home at night. How do you guys do this every single night? How do you do it?
I can't watch any more TV, Ago. I can't. I'm going insane.
I know, man. But you know what has been really cool is I told you I'm taking the class for screenwriting. And it's really been cool, everything I'm learning. And then what they'll do is they'll suggest for you to go back and watch certain movies, which I did. And then I started watching movies that I wanted to watch, which I've seen 100 times. But when you see it after the class, it's like you're seeing it for the first time. You're picking up on everything that they showed you to watch out for.
Like the formulaic kind of move where you're like, oh, we are 20 minutes in and an inciting incident is occurring.
Yeah, dude.
All these.
You buffered there.
There's structure to all of these things. Oh, sorry. There's structure to all of these things.
Yes.
And when you take a class like that, you suddenly watch a movie in a different way going,
I know.
oh, now I see. This is when the plot kind of starts to fall apart because the main character can't actually find a solution to their problem. So we have to go through this world
That's
for a
exactly
little bit.
what it is, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it, and then there's a couple of people that what they'll do is just to show you examples of like bad writing and good writing or not entertaining is like they'll take a scene from a movie and then you edit out the like certain parts of it and then just give you the information, just regular old dialogue, and you're like, wow, that's such a bad scene if you take out all that, good stuff and good writing that they put in. Like one example is I had her on my podcast. She teaches a class called Word Dancer. Her name is Pamela Kay, and she's like an award-winning screenwriter. And so anyway, I'll watch her videos a lot. And so she took Sixth Sense, and that scene with like the little boy and Bruce Willis for the first time in his living room. I don't know if you remember, but he keeps saying like, how about if I guess right, you take a step forward. If I guess wrong, you take a step backwards. And if you get to the door, you can leave. Do you remember that? So like they basically took that part out, and it was basically just like him asking him questions and him going no, yes, no. And it was such a bad scene. But when but by making the kid move forward or backward every time he asked a question, you got the information without so much words, and it made it interesting. It's just like that was just a really good example. But I am really enjoying rewatching some of my favorite movies with this knowledge. It's great.
Yeah, dude, and the fact that you had the gumption to take a class, because I think a lot of people are really scared to do that because people, like a lot of us, especially as artists, you'd like to think that you know what you need to know. You're like, no, I got it all in here. I don't want to, I don't need outside help, but we do need help. And the more things we learn, the more knowledgeable we become in a vast area of subjects, the better everything gets. So of course, you've watched 1,000 movies and you know how to make you're like, I know how to write a movie, but can I write it to the best of my ability? Not if I don't take this class, as I'm only going to get better. And then you doing that, whatever you were going to write from now on is going to be that much better because you understand formal structure and how, like you just said, how scenes work.
Absolutely. It didn't take you that long to write this book, did you?
Dude, we came up with it on November 23rd, and I started writing it on December 1st. So this is less than 2 months. And what happened is so my friend had a little birthday party in the park, actually in your neighborhood, in Sherman Oaks. We were out in the park and had a little like silent disco dance party, and just got home and just was in a really good mood from dancing outside all day. And we were smoking some weed, and we just started talking about like, well, what are we gonna do? And started really coming up with the idea. And then the more we talked about it, we just kept smoking more joints and coming up with more ideas. And the next day we looked over our notes and we're like, what is salvageable here? What is going to work? And so we put something together, and then we just said, right when I come back, right when Thanksgiving is over, we're done with the holidays and all that, come back and just start cranking on this thing. And if I can write 1 to 2 days per day, because it's a 28-day book, if I can write 1 to 2 days in a day, then in 2 to 3 weeks, I'll have this thing finished. And that's what it took me. It took me 2.5 weeks to actually write the entire book, which it was about 22,000 words or something like that. Not an insane amount by any means. It's not. But just enough for me to be writing like 3 pages a day. Yeah. And then once I finished my work on it, then Lauren jumped in and started doing all her work for it. And now here it is. From concept to you holding it was 2 months. And I couldn't be more proud of our time. Just like cranking through, setting a goal, and doing it.
Dude, it's not even February of 2021. And this book says copyright 2021. That's fantastic, bro. And I see you got Troy Conrad did the photos. This is Troy Conrad does anybody knows all the photos at the Comedy Store that you see there. All Troy Conrad, he's the best. And this is great. This is what 12 years in sticking with something does. You meet people who know how to do stuff. You meet people that want to help you. Watch something come from here to the page to literally something that I just ordered on Amazon. It's fucking magical and inspirational, dude, and I'm so happy and proud for you.
Thank you, and I really appreciate you like not only buying it but coming on, having me on here to talk about it. And honestly, like that's what I kind of want to show people. Like, it's not. It seems crazy. Like I didn't tell anyone I was writing a book. So when we announced this, people were just like, "I'm sorry, what the? When did this fucking happen?"
That's what I did. I went, "Wait, what?"
and most people assumed that I spent all of quarantine just doing it, but no, like something like this, because we did the workbook format, and because it didn't need to be like hundreds of pages long. It was just a matter of us putting it together and just doing it.
Yeah.
And because I had the time, it was like, okay, let's make something happen right now. And I know it's intimidating, but I want to show people that this is possible. And obviously, I've never written a book, but now I have.
Yeah.
And like, so just like that. And I just want to show more people that this is a possible process for them.
Absolutely. When you look at everything that comes with the thing you want to do, all the hard parts, and you say them out loud, or you think about everything you have to do to make it happen, it seems like a lot. It just seems like I'll never do it, you know.
Well, that's one of the very first things I say. One of the very first things I say in this book, because I want to quote this for 1 second. The very first thing I say is nothing is more difficult than the beginning because nothing is further from the end. So either get it ready or just give up now. And then immediately I start talking about why you should give up before you even start reading this, because giving up is so fun. We relinquish all accountability when we give up. You know, we don't have to account for anything. We can be like, oh yeah, I just stopped doing that. People are like, oh, okay. But
yeah,
it's just as easy, you know, if you go step by step, you'll finish things. And that's what we did with this. We knew exactly what we had to do to get it out. And we said, we can do this within 2 months.
Step by step.
And we did.
When you put things down on a piece of paper and you go, I'm going to do this and I have to do this first. And then once I do that, I do this. And one by one, you go online and you research how to do it and you learn how to do it. It's possible. Not to sound cliche, but anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And
it is
your heart to it, because you got to love it and you got to really want to see your finished product out there. So, and you did it, buddy. And I've really enjoyed having you on this podcast, dude. And I hope that we can work together soon, or at least hang out at like a club or something, man.
Dude, well, now that LA reopens tomorrow for outdoor dining, just in time for this rain, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like California saw that come. They're like, oh, is it supposed to rain all week? Oh, just go ahead.
Go ahead and open. Nobody will be out there.
But I do think like the Comedy Store is going to be back. Like I think we're going to be able to do those window sets. I talked to the Improv and they're hoping to have some sort of outdoor situation happening because they have that beautiful courtyard. And I think people are going to really try to get comedy back.
I hope so, dude. I'm going to send you the link. Check out what I wrote. It's very short, and you just
love to.
You just
and let me sign the petition
if you can, please. That would be great, dude. And that's it, man. I'll be in touch with you. You're going to be a part of another fun project that I'm working on, so that's going to be a lot of fun too. And anyway, dude, I'll catch you later. Thanks so much for doing the show. I had a great time, and I thought this was a successful podcast, to say the least.
I think so too, Algo. Thank you very much, man.
So everybody, you can get Alex's book. It's called Roast Yourself to Happiness, A Comedian's Guide to Finding Joy by Embracing Your Flaws by Alex Hooper. You guys can get it on Amazon. The Kindle version is only $5. And it's only a couple of clicks away. And I went and got the paperback because I just wanted to have it here. So when next time I see Alex, we can get a little signature on it. How about that, buddy? How about you sign it for me?
Oh, yeah, dude. Happy to do it.
So proud of you, dude. So happy to know you. And we've stuck this out for 12 years, bro. Our anniversary's coming up, and we're still in this, dude. Let's keep pushing each other to keep going.
12 more years, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, man. You can go ahead and log off. I'm going to do my outros and stuff with these guys. I love you, buddy. I'll see you.
Love you too, man. Good talking to you. Mwah.
You too, man. Peace. Alex Hooper is the man. I love that dude. I hope that you guys get his book. It's so true that it's funny along the way. It's a funny self-help workbook that like I said, I've gotten through the introduction and I'm already laughing. And then beyond that, it's just a lot of, it's 28 days. It's a workbook. It's your thing. So you're supporting a comic, and honestly, I think that you're helping yourself out too. So. Also, guys, you heard me talking about it. Time to take a class in something. Don't give no more excuses. Oh, how am I going to take a class? Everything's closed. I can't afford a class right now. I don't have a job. Listen, you guys, there's Masterclass, and they sponsor this podcast, Homeschool Podcast. So click the other link in the description for Masterclass. Sign up today. You guys, it's not going to break the bank. It's not that bad. It's $90 per course that you want to take. And they have a course on just about every topic that you can possibly think of. But not only is it $90 per course, but if you click the link, use my link in the description, you can get access to every single course that they have to offer on their entire website for a year for $180. So if you were going to get 2 courses, get the whole year, buy the link in there, split it with a friend so you can share the login. Maybe they want to do comedy classes. Maybe you want to do writing, maybe acting. There's cooking. Everything is on there, you guys. And don't forget to click the link in the description for Share a Sale. If you have a podcast or a blog or something like that, you can start making money off sponsorship that way. It doesn't cost you anything. Just use my link and help me out. Let's see what else. The petition for LA County to be able to do outdoor, safe, stand-up, social distance comedy. You guys can find that on my website, homeschooledpod.com. Right on the front page, there's a little link underneath the main picture that you can click, and it'll take you to sign the petition. But the actual picture, you can click, and it will take you to read my plan that I wrote, my actual city government proposal that I wrote to safely. You don't have to read it all. A lot of it is like a little mumbo-jumbo that the government wants to see. But you know what? If you are thinking about doing outdoor comedy, it's something to reference, and I think it's a guideline that you should have. And I would like everybody see actors. They got the unions, the SAG and stuff like that. Stand-up comedy, there's not really a union unless they're also actors. So guys, we've got to unionize on this. We've got to come together, and we have got to make this plan the official plan for not just comedy clubs, but venues everywhere that wants to do entertainment, music, or if you got a restaurant or something. Listen, selling tickets to an event is way safer than people just showing up at a restaurant. It limits the seating. It lets you, it allows you to manage attendees and not have people just showing up without tickets. It allows you to have people just leave when the event is done. Is way safer to do. And not only that, but it's an incentive for people to come out to your restaurant now that you're open outdoors. So if you have a little bar or lounge area outside, it's maybe hire a little band, maybe 3-piece band, maybe one guy who sings songs with a guitar, violin, stand-up comedy. It's just so important. And you know what? I wasn't gonna do this, but I think I will. I'm going to read to you guys, and hopefully you won't turn the podcast off by now. But and this is not very long. This is not the proposal, by the way. This is just the quick article that I wrote, which you will see when you are signing the petition. And I think it's very important for people to hear what I wrote. Okay, so please stick around and listen. Now more than ever, our city and its residents need live entertainment. When the last stay-at-home order was lifted, restricting restaurants and bars, lounges to outdoor seating only, live entertainment was prohibited at these outdoor venues, thus leaving entertainment venues such as comedy clubs, musical performance venues, and people who earn a living as live entertainers excluded. Now that we are lifting the stay-at-home orders in Los Angeles, once again, it is important that these individuals are not excluded this time. With restrictions and safety guidelines in place, live outdoor entertainment can be and should be done. All we are talking about is 1 to 3 entertainers at a time, standing 8 to 12 feet away from a group of people who have already been permitted to dine outside. Los Angeles is the last city to do this, and we are the entertainment capital of the entire country, if not the world. It saddens me to not see LA residents fleeing the city, but also our best entertainers are forced to leave in order to make a living. Sorry, guys, that was a little messy right there. That's just my reading. The COVID numbers and data are extremely important to consider, but there is other data that should not be ignored, such as mental health, suicide, unemployment, homeless. This is all data that should also be considered. As a stand-up comedian, I see the side effects that lockdowns are having on myself and my colleagues as a result of not being able to do what we love and earn a living. I see the best artists in Los Angeles suffering from depression and or leaving the city and even the state. I have considered leaving the city myself to go where I can work as an entertainer, but I have decided to stay and help keep entertainment in my city, Los Angeles, where I was born and raised. With my knowledge and 12-year experience as an entertainer and live show producer, I have written a 7-page guideline plan to safely permit live outdoor entertainment that works within the guidelines and restrictions that are currently in place for the outdoor dining. This plan, Live Outdoor Entertainment Plan Act, can be found on my website, augustinocomedian.com or homeschooledpod.com, same thing. So if you guys want, go there, you can see the plan. This petition is to allow outdoor entertainment wherever outdoor dining has been permitted, while considering the entertainers themselves counted towards the venue's allowed occupancy, and to form a unity of the Live Outdoor Entertainment Plan Act to be enforced to all that partake in providing live entertainment at their venues. This will help entertainers find work, which will bring down the numbers of unemployment, which will drive up the business for venues that desperately need the extra income right now. This will actually limit unwanted gatherings in people's homes and outside of restaurants. Live events should all be prepaid purchase tickets, which enforces the max occupancy and reduces people from arriving and gathering outside venues, waiting for a table to open up, which is what is currently happening at restaurants. If a venue is offering live entertainment, it is actually safer than venues who are not. So this is what I wrote, and you guys can please go sign the petition, which will be submitted to the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors, along with the plan, which I call Live Outdoor Entertainment Plan Act. And you guys can find that at homeschooledpod.com. Please help me out, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. I want to give a big thank you to Alex Hooper, who just showed me a great time being my guest on this episode today, and I'm so excited for his book, and I can't wait to finish it. And I hope that you guys check it out too. I'm Augustino Zoida. Oh, by the way, I'll put the link in the description too, so you guys can get his book. I'm Augustino Zoida. I want you guys to please remember that only love can save the world. This is Homeschooled Podcast. Peace out. Until next time. Have a nice weekend. Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
No, okay.
I don't want to do that at all.